Okay, so the new Royal Oak Swatch just dropped, and these are my thoughts. This is just off the dome, no script, just going through whatever I'm seeing. So we obviously knew this last week that Swatch and Audemars Piguet was dropping a collab, which in itself is an insane move from both ends. Obviously, Swatch is the primary winner of this because they can print watches with Audemars Piguet on them. And inside Audemars Piguet, they obviously have been going down the pop culture route for a while with the Black Panther watch, Cars watch, the Spider-Man watch, and whatever else happens in culture. Audemars seems to be present, which does make sense because from the Holy Trinity, AP is the younger, cooler brand, and they're trying to integrate themselves more into culture than the other brands like Vacheron or Patek, who are still the well-established heritage brands. But there is a big issue with this collab. The reason why we want a Royal Oak is because it's unattainable. It's expensive, you need to get on a list, or you need to buy from a second-hand dealer for a premium on what it costs in store. It's attractive just because it's not attainable. Now let's just look at these watches. Obviously, they didn't want to release a wristwatch because probably thought that that would dilute the brand even more than they're already doing through a Swatch collab. So they released a pocket watch or a lanyard watch, which to many people might seem cool and it might seem attainable and it's cheap and it's available in Swatch stores, which is all great. Swatch and AP will make money on this. No questions, they will sell out. But just think about what this does to the brand. So from AP's perspective, they are thinking revenue, new wrists, and younger audiences that will find AP through this watch collab and aspire to buy an AP. But what AP obviously do not register is that they are already aspiring to buy an AP. They are on every rapper's or every musician's wrist. They're on every athlete's wrist, every actor's wrist. They're on every high-end influencer's wrist. They're everywhere. We can see Royal Oaks wherever we turn on the people we aspire to be or look to for inspiration. When you release a $400 pocket watch made of plastic and print your name on it, when the original thing cost $30,000, that dilutes the brand. There's no question about it. We've already seen this with the Moonswatch and the Blancpain release. Problem here is that the quality of these plastic watches from Swatch is usually not very good. Which means now that the Moonswatch has broken within 2 weeks, Omega is now considered low quality because their brand is on that dial. Blancpain obviously doesn't have the cultural impact to actually make sense, so they just did it to up sales. And now AP has released this plastic watch that looks like a McDonald's Happy Meal toy with Swatch, and the quality is probably going to be much of the same. Here's even more reason why it doesn't make sense. So AP has been moving towards owning their own retail locations, building AP houses, which are clubhouses for their customers who have risen through the ranks and waited on waitlists and spent extreme amounts of money to be inside this exclusive members club, and it's a status symbol and signaling to everyone else that I make more money than you or we are better than you. Again, APs and Royal Oaks are interesting, attractive, because they are not attainable. They're not readily available. And now, one of the arguments that I'm seeing across different platforms is that this creates more risks, or it might make younger buyers aspire more towards buying an AP in the future long term, which I don't know how they did the math on this, because now you can get an AP for $400, as well as, like I mentioned earlier, they are already aspiring to buy an AP because they are on everyone's wrist who they actually look up to. They don't need an entry point at $400. I've talked about this before. Usually luxury brands have cheaper entry points for their brands than their flagship products, like the Royal Oak. They have cheaper options, but it shouldn't be a $400 watch in plastic that looks like a McDonald's Happy Meal toy that will be available in stores just across from a Swatch watch that's on discount for $50. This hype cycle will die down. They will probably sell out the first batch and it will skyrocket on the second-hand market for maybe 3 months. Then it will be available in stores. They are saying it's a one-off. What that means, I don't actually know, but they don't say limited edition, limited release, or quantum release. So it will be available in the stores, in Swatch stores across the world for everyone to go buy an AP. If you're an actual AP customer who spent time and money on this brand, you've essentially been told that you're not that special, everyone else is welcome, which is obviously the biggest no-no in luxury. Because the more accessible you make your brand to everyone, the less valuable it becomes to the people who actually made it valuable in the first place. AP's customers are not going to buy this watch. It's only people who are not AP customers and probably never will be AP customers. So if you own a Royal Oak right now, this diminishes the brand. It lowers the value of AP and Royal Oak. Obviously, this is a big hype piece, a lot of PR, a lot of brand mentions for both Swatch and AP. And if you're in the PR department and just looking at that, this is great. If you are in the finance department, this is probably going to look very great. But if you're building this brand for long term without lowering your prices and the value of the entire brand you have built for over 100 years, then this is a catastrophe waiting to happen. Because what's next?